Yo, what's good guys, producer Mykah here, and today guys I'm gonna show you 3 ways you can create clean and hard hitting drum grooves in FL Studio. So without wasting time guys, let's go. So in the last tutorial I did a remake of Benson's latest song, so I'm gonna be showing you guys how you could actually just achieve some nice clean drum bounce. So let's listen to this vibe I have already. So if you listen to this bounce, you can hear every sound. You can hear the snare, you can hear the kick, you can hear the bass. You can basically hear every instrument playing, non-clashing with each other. So the first step in actually creating some nice, clean Afro drum groove is to select the right sound. I always say sound selection is key. So if you actually spend a lot of time to select the right sound, trust me, when it comes, to mixing the sound, you basically be doing nothing. So when you want to make a hard-hitting drums, you just have to spend time and make sure you select, a drum that fits that style. And I always give this example. If you want to, make like an Afro, an Afro swing, the kick for an Afro swing is actually a very punchy kick. Don't think you can just go pick a very soft kick that you use for an Amapiano, to make an Afro swing beat and you expect, that kick to hit hard. You're just gonna spend a lot of time in mixing that sound. So why not just spend a lot of time in actually selecting the right sound, and that's actually gonna save you a lot of stress, when it comes, to balancing your sound. So when I want to go for like, a vibe that requires a very hard kick, I'm just gonna spend time and make sure that I actually select that kick. Let me just go to the kick. So we have, this kick. So imagine I go select a very soft kick. Let me just look for an example of a soft kick. Yep, so this is a very soft kick. So let me just put this down here and go to my kick pattern, and let me just copy this kick and paste it here and just mute this, and let's hear. So let's put it with the whole vibe. So you can see that all the other sounds has actually covered the kick, and the kick needs to be very punchy. The kick needs to be out there. So imagine I pick this kick and I'm expecting that, okay, when I send it to my mixer, I'm just gonna add, go to my EQ maybe and start boosting, boosting the low end. Let's play that and see. So it might actually work in some cases, but why not just spend time selecting the right sound? So that's my first tip. Actually spend a lot of time selecting the right sounds, and it's actually gonna do you well than trying to mix that sound the way you want it to sound. So the second step is gonna be, for me, I just like increasing the velocity of my percussions. So let me go, for example, my snare now. You can see that I'm using the maximum velocity. So if you want your drums to actually punch and hit really hard, you need to be utilizing the velocity. So I just increase the velocity, to the max, because by default this snare is gonna be around this level, yeah, and it's gonna sound like this. So for me, I just increase it and make sure I'm using the maximum velocity. For some people, that might not be their choice, but that's just actually what I do to make, my drums really punch hard and hit so well. So I do the same thing for my kick. Let's just go to the kick here. And let me go back to my default kick, and you can see the same thing for my kick. Because by default, it's going to be like this. So increasing the velocity, makes it really, really hit hard. And I do that for basically almost all my percussions. So you can see for my conga also, increase the velocity. So you can just try it out, increasing the velocity to the max and seeing if it works for you. But it actually works for me. So I actually recommend, you try it out. And before I go to the next and final tip, I actually just have my soft clipper, always on my master, just to keep everything in check. So once my soft clipper is there, I can increase the velocity and, it's not going to clip. So with the whole vibe. Yep, and the final tip, which is for my kick. This tip is actually for my kick and my bass. So mostly what I do is to sidechain my kick and my bass, because basically the kick and the bass are playing in the same frequency range. So if you don't sidechain it, there's actually going to be a clash. And when your kick and your bass are hitting at the same instance, trust me, there's going to be a clash in that low end. So what I always do is to sidechain my kick and my bass. So once I sidechain my kick and my bass, I actually create room, for my bass to shine. And I'm gonna show you an example with this vibe I have here. This is the bass, and this is the kick. So you can see that whenever the kick hits, the bass just goes down a little bit, just to create room, for the kick to shine. And you can easily do that in FL Studio or whichever DAW you're using. So all I just need to do is put the fruity limiter. Let me just delete everything and just do that from scratch. So I have my kick and my bass. So most times I just like putting them close to each other so that I can easily sidechain it. So I come over to my kick and just go below here and just right click, sidechain to this track, and then go to my bass and bring in the fruity limiter. So as I bring that in, I just come over to the compression section, and on that sidechain I just right click and I'm gonna see my kick, and I select my kick. All I just need to do is adjust the threshold, the attack and the release, just to fit the vibe I'm going for. So I'm just gonna bring in down my threshold, then I'm just gonna go to my ratio, just increase that a little bit and bring down the release. Yep, so you can see that whenever the kick hits now, it creates room. The bass just ducks down, creating more room for the kick to shine. And I also use my EQ on my other percussion. So I really like my low end to be as clean as possible, just like my kick and my bass to just be on my low end. So mostly I just go, with my EQ on most of the percussions and just take out, some of the lows just to create space for the kick to shine. So I do that for most of my snares and my percussion. So I just want to create a lot of room in that low end, because the low end is where things can easily get muddy, things can easily start distorting. So I just use my EQ to create room on the low end for my kick and my bass to shine. So these are my 3 tips for creating amazing and clean drum bounce. So one is sound selection, which is very important. The second is I always increase my velocity for my drums to the max, so it actually hits really hard. And the third one is creating space on the low end for my kick and my bass by sidechaining my kick and my bass, and also using EQs on my percussion that has some low ends in there. Yep guys, so I hope you got something from this video. If you did, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you definitely get notified when next I post. And if you're here to join the Patreon, the link to join the Patreon is going to be in the description of this video. All you just have to do, guys, is just click on the link and you'll be welcome with some amazing goodies on the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video.